Hi, beautiful Sagittarius. This is Mary Ellen coming to you from Moonrise Cottage for your February 2018 Soul Tarot reading. Welcome to all the returning viewers and subscribers. And if you're new, it's lovely to have you here. I'm so glad to add more folks who can like and share and subscribe. I always forget to say that. We're here for your February 2018 reading, and it is a beautiful reading about the transition that you are making along with all the other signs. I am starting a new tradition, I guess, for 2018. The image you are seeing is the beautiful King of Battle. This is the spirit theme, the message that drives your reading for the month of February. There's a lot of prophecy in this reading this month. Every single sign that has come out, there has been a message embedded that has to do with a continuation of your emergence and your evolution into the new set point into which you evolved through the work you did in 2017. So I made a commitment to take a next step, if you will, to stimulate you at the very beginning of the reading to receive the energy that comes through the messages as well as the images. So as we go along this year, we're going to deepen that process. A lot of you have written to me and spoken about the experience that you have. So I'm trying to unlock, so to speak, that energy with the image so that you can feel the movement and the shift and change that is meant to come for you. I'm going to toggle over and say hi. Hi, everyone. Wonderful to be here as always. For those of you who don't know, I use the beautiful Celtic Wisdom Tarot deck developed by Caitlin Matthews. This year, there are going to be some exciting changes coming from Moonrise Cottage. Step one, before I forget, I am finally going to be able to launch a website. I'm working on it quite hard in the background. I think it'll probably drop for publication around the 10th. It will be moonrisecottagesoultarot.com. You'll be able to go to the website, look at all the offerings, all the information about me and Moonrise Cottage, choose the type of reading or the type of service that you'd like. Click on that. It'll take you right to the reservation page. Finish your reservation. You'll be able to book your reading right from the website. My calendar will be there, and you'll be able to see the slots that are actually open. So you won't have to email back and forth with me anymore. It was becoming a little overwhelming because of the volume of email that I get. So all the information is there. You're going to get a confirmation email when you book your reading, and the day before your reading, you'll get a reminder. I am going to be offering 3 new services beyond expanding, Spirit says, asking me to expand the things that I offer to you folks. That will include distance healing. I'm going to be doing relationship readings, and I will also be offering my services as a medium. Part of what happened for me as I transitioned deeper into my process over the past year that I've been on YouTube, people started coming through from the other side during the readings to say hello, to resolve questions, and to help people understand the journey that they had, right? And the way that those folks on the other side are reaching out and offering guidance and love. If you have that experience, if someone has passed and you want to know about that, if you've got, your grandmother, I don't know about you guys, but my grandmother comes through all the time to visit with me. So I decided, you know what? Let's put that out there. All that will be listed in the Show More tab beneath the video. Click down. There's a description box. Click on that. For now, everything you need to know is there. All the links, my email, the time zone calculator, and for the next, probably through the month of February, I will leave all that information. So when you click Show More, it opens a tab. starting in March, I probably will eliminate that and just list the link to the website. All right, so let's toggle back and talk about the King of Battle. The King of Battle gives theme and light and purpose to this reading. It's guiding your way forward, and Spirit is talking a lot about not just the month of February, but we're setting the stage now for the type of work that's going to be done all of 2018. And each month, just like in 2017, each month there will be a particular, Spirit's saying, staging ground for your growth and your transition. And it's going to be a very particular type of process this year. So the King of Battle lost his hand. He was a warrior. He lost his hand. He had to step off of his throne. He was not allowed to sit on the throne without being a whole person. So that's the theme that Spirit's going to talk about as these cards come out. It's a really beautiful reading. And if you've been following along through 2017, you know that you had a lot of battle. It was a battle with the self in order to rectify the emotions and the thoughts and the desires you had on the inside with the experience that was happening as you were observing and interacting with the world around you and the things inside of you that were challenging you. I love that this is coming right over the top. The story of the King of Battle is that he had a mystical healing. And we're going to talk about that as well in relationship to your personal journey and your set point, your emergence into the energetic set point and the purpose of Sagittarius, having joined in the efforts of 2017 to weave the tapestry of energetic emergence that Spirit talked about through me quite a bit last year. That transition, that work was completed as we went into the solstice and came through those days. And now in the beginning of 2018, that work of shift and change is being culminated in a new set point, a new foundation upon which all signs are going forward. That message has come through in every reading so far. It's a very beautiful journey that you are going to be on. The King of Battle had some folks that were very devoted to him. He was a very wise leader. He had a lot of authority, but he was not authoritarian. He was very wise. And his job was, to uphold the powers of analytical insight. He had the ability to have critical, original thinking. And that's out of that, Spirit says, arose his authority as a wisdom holder. He was very fair. He was a very respected advisor. And he had a strong commitment to the common good. So there he is. What I love about this, couple of things. All the things I already said. But there's the full moon. And we came through the month of January, continuing this emergence into our rightful place in each set point. The King of Battle went through a great healing. We had 2 full moons in the month of January. And Spirit is saying, it pulled forward your energy into this set point in this way. And it is from this idea that your transition deeper into your ability to work with the energies that have come forward, culminating in the solstice in December. So if you haven't seen those readings, go check it out. If you're new to the channel or you haven't had time to look at them, and you're curious about the journey that happened in 2017, what I've been suggesting to folks is, go back to February of 2017 and skip through some of those readings. Make sure you watch the eclipse readings that came forward. They're on a playlist on my channel. Make sure you look at the readings from October, November, and December. Scroll forward to the last part of the reading, maybe the last 10 minutes, and just hit the play button. And just, listen to the culmination of the reading. It'll give you a good groundwork, because these readings are not typical tarot readings that are standalone month to month. This is about a progression of your soul destiny. So here we have the beautiful king letting you know that you have come in to this placement of authority. Eventually, one of his devotees fashioned him a silver hand that allowed him to rise back to his position of authority. He had to recapture a part of himself. Eventually, through a mystical healing, his human hand grew back. So the message is the part of yourself, and it's not just you, Sag, it's all of us, everybody. We are regaining something that had been lost over the course of human history as it was meant to be. We come into this world with a set point of knowledge, and then depending on the age into which we are born and the situation and what's going on in the world around us and what's happening geopolitically, etc., we forget. And now this year, we are coming back into a place of self-awareness, and your journey has everything to do with that. So being accompanied by the King of Battle is I think it's quite an honor to have this notation that which has been lost from your spiritual awareness on the human plane is about to be regained. That process is happening through the month of February in order to prepare us to utilize that energy and the new abilities that we have as we gain our training and our knowledge through the journey that is going to unfold in 2018. So let's take a look at the next card. The card that comes out underneath the King of Battle is about your set point. That is the beautiful foundation of art. So as the message is streaming through about this new foundation, this new place in which you reside, Spirit says, it's interesting that this has come out. I'm going to toggle back and show you the card. There it is. Look at that. Beautiful. Going very deep. Activating your ability to connect with the spirit realm and to understand yourself as a human being walking in this world completely connected to the spirit realm and being able to travel into that realm. So it's a very interesting story. That's the foundation of art, the art of being a spirit walker in a human shell and how we connect back and forth. And that knowledge coming in to the fullness of your awareness through the work you're doing. So I want to talk a little bit more about this. The King of Battle in the mythology of this deck actually created a sacred place for this type of journey. It was a special hut that students of the sacred would enter, and they would be plunged into darkness, remaining there for 24 hours. And upon emerging, they would sit at the feet of the master and discuss what they had learned. It was translated into poetry and song because their destiny was to become a wisdom holder and to be able to transmit that energy vibration and the knowledge that came to them. The other thing that's really beautiful to me about this is that the reading is about the transition of your energy into the sacred male set point. And whether you're a woman or a man, it doesn't really matter. Spirit's been talking a lot about the yin and yang energy and the way in which we are going to be able to realize our ability to actually embody the motion of that energy, the flow in and out of the energetic set points. There's a lot coming through about portals, about what the female sacred set point is all about for us in this time, and how the sacred male energy is doing its own work in order to be able to access the portal. And that's what that gentleman is doing. So, when we talk about sacred feminine energy, the sacred feminine, and this is a little bit simplistic, I just want you to know that I know that. As an overview, the sacred feminine energy is about the embodiment physically here on this earth of the portal, of the notion, of the place through which we all must travel in order to incarnate here in this realm. So the feminine energy exists in that way. It is about that concept, in large part. The male energy is the active principle. There has to be some action taken in order for that movement to exist. In order for souls to come through, the male principle is needed to drive, shift, and change the impetus, the will to go forward. So, in essence, your journey is about coming into this place of active principle within your energetic set point as a fire sign, and being able, with your male set point energy, to become active in that way and transition through the portals that exist. We just had an eclipse of the full moon on the last day of January. It was the second full moon of the month. It was Spirit says, it was a very highly ordered month of transition in and out of the portal. So as you walk through this month, that is the work that is at hand. It's a very quiet movement. It is about coming in to yourself, your awareness of the spirit being that resides within you, and the ability to utilize that energy to free yourself into the knowledge that is meant for you. Here are the cards that indicate your human walk. And I apologize that the pictures are a little bit small today. Something happened with the tech stuff in the background. I reloaded them 4 or 5 times, and I finally gave up and said, okay, I'm just going to go with it. So I'll show you each one of these cards. It's a beautiful, beautiful story. That first card, we see the feminine shaman. And clearly, we see a gentleman in slumber, ensnared. And the shamaness is here to awaken him into the light. It's a beautiful gift on the first step of your journey this month, acknowledging where you are and the journey that you're going through, if you will. There's a long mythical story about this. And, essentially, it has to do with coming into yourself and being released from that which binds you. And I love that the outside edges of this card, all about being in the light. There is an elopement of this battle inside your life, inside your experience, and as your destiny. This is not a prophecy card, but in a way it's a prophecy for you about the journey you're going to have in 2018. Becoming released with, if you will, the active principle inside the feminine, which is, in a sense, there's a lot of stillness. And yet, as you move through the portal, through the energy of the sacred feminine in order to have your journey, you are awakened. It's really beautiful. And she has the headdress on of hawk. And hawk is the spirit animal that brings messages from the divine. So, all told, these first 3 cards are very reflective of each other. And it's a beautiful unfolding into the place that you are meant to be. The very next card is the continuation of that notion, Spirit says. This is the beautiful dialogue of knowledge. What it indicates to me, and what's coming through about this, is that you are going to be in dialogue not only with the sacred realm, but with yourself as you awaken, as you journey deep into the set point that is meant for you. And again, it's a little bit of a prophecy about what is to come, certainly about your journey this month, the foundation of this type of art, the art of a spirit walker here on the earth. Spirit's saying things have been turned on their head, right? So we're used to being aware of ourselves as a human being. And now we're going to come into some awareness of ourselves as a spirit being, walking our path of destiny. Take a look at this card. That young man, you see the road, the path of destiny? He was the son of the wisdom holder of the clan, the sacred poet. His father passed away. He was out in the world having his adventures. He traveled home to take up his destiny. One of his father's friends came to visit him. He was very afraid that he wasn't ready. I think you've seen this card in 2017. He put on a fake beard. He was really terrified. He didn't feel ready. But he was kind of faking it till he's making it, Spirit says, right? So he went quaking in his boots, and the journey transformed him. You see the color of his garments? The purple and the blue, that's about being in the process of transformation. So he comes on travels home, sits in the chair. One of the elders came to have a conversation with him. And it was a long conversation about all the knowledge that existed. It was a little bit of a test. And what happened for this young man, through this process of conversation, he was transformed. And he came to a place of understanding that it was required of him to be honest and to have humility. And he finally said, you know what? He pulled off his fake beard and he said, I'm not ready. I can't do it. I'm really afraid. I haven't been prepared. I've been out having my own adventure, but I haven't completed enough study. And in that moment, his destiny unfolded. The sacred spiral turned. The elder said, well, okay, I'll switch places with you. And this elder gentleman went and sat in the chair. And the first thing he did was look at the young man and say, you are ready. The only problem is that you doubt yourself. So I'm reinstalling you in the chair. And don't worry, I'll be here to help you and guide you. It's time. Your time has arrived. That's the notion. After this period of ensnarement in the slumber that we have as human beings, let me toggle back. Once you step into the sacred hut and you begin your journey under the light and the guidance of the King of Battle, in the place that he prepared for you, you have this sacred release into your awareness of your true set point. And in that moment, you attain the appropriate amount of humility because it's a big moment. You are going to feel this process happening inside of you. You are going to feel a shift and change in how you walk. And one of the most significant things you're going to come to understand is that you are worthy and you are ready. It is your time, and you do have help. You will have guidance from the spirit realm. The very next card is the first card in the major arcana of this deck. That is the beautiful Decider of Will. It's a phenomenal progression. So as I go forward this year, I want to remind everyone to take a look at the way the cards are aligned with each other and the natural progression that comes. This month, it's a very rapid progression that you're going through. Spirit wants to let you know this is the place that you have evolved into. You are continuing to evolve and emerge into your awareness of yourself as a literal manifestation of spirit. So take a look at the foundation of art that sits next to the King of Battle. This is the battle you're involved in. Again, it's with the self. And below the foundation of art, we see this journey. That's where you're going. When you go out to connect with the universe, you are stepping into this journey. And you are being notified that you are released from that which blinded you to your true reality. You are awakened, and you are received, and you are honored, and you are valued. Because no matter how young and unprepared you feel, because this is a new set point, Spirit says it doesn't matter. Trust yourself. Honor yourself. Know that you are here. And when you come to that place inside of yourself, in a place of humility and understanding for the journey that is about to take place, it activates your will, your beautiful sacred male energy, the active principle, in order to go forward, deepening your transition into this journey so that you can transmit what is going to come to you. And that is the goal for 2018. There are going to be a lot of steps on that road. And that's why Spirit's talking about, going into the sacred hut. I think every month you're going to have another piece of that experience. You're going to go in and out because we see several representations of that in these cards. It's all about the shift and change of sacred male energy. And Spirit's correcting me. Spirit's saying the evolution and the emergence. Those are the two words that Spirit wants to emphasize this month. Look at that. That is the great god Dagda. Right? In these cards, we talk a lot about the sacred mother. So in a sense, this is the sacred male father, the symbol, if you will, of highly awakened, highly activated, intensely balanced, sacred male energy. The energy of drive and ambition from a very ethical, very awakened standpoint. The decider of will provides the way forward. And the energy and the impetus and the ability to take your journey with your hand outstretched, ready to receive all that is about to be given. And for you, Sag, it's about this knowledge. It's about coming into yourself and trusting this journey. Because, it sounds a little, Spirit saying, highfalutin. Like Spirit saying, I know it sounds highfalutin. Trust it. It's really true. Something is going to shift in your awareness. And when you feel that event happen, it's going to stimulate this. It is going to stimulate the active principle to move deeper into the experience of being in the portal and understanding what it is to be a spirit being, moving in and out of the sacred realm while you take your human steps. It's a beautiful story. Let's take a look at the bridge card that indicates the energy on which you travel through this journey and the outcome. Spirit's chattering about prophecy again. Let me just show you the card. Look at that. That is a quest. It is the quest of skill, following the energy of the decider of will. You go on a sacred quest. So look at the top line of cards. Very beautiful. Clearly, as deep as a spirit being could go, you are traveling. You are regestating. You are becoming yourself in the deepest way possible. Your whole self, Spirit is saying. We see a lot of sacred animal wisdom holders around this being. One of the things that has been coming through in every reading, and it's here in your reading, is the notion that you incarnated into this time specifically to be present here on the earth when this massive shift and change occurred. Within one lifetime, you regestate and you become very deeply aware. So in the bottom right hand of that card, we see elk. Elk is the animal medicine signification of having stamina for a very long journey. An owl sees through the darkness. And I love that it's a snow owl. All that light. And there you are, returning to the source. That is salmon. You are swimming very deep. And these beautiful wisdom birds, raven and eagle, again, each one able to transition and to bring spirit messages forward. Eagle has very long vision. It soars across the sky effortlessly. It can see very long distance and has a very unique perspective. So we see this notion of swimming really deep in the spiritual waters, and yet at the same time, the ability to have sky vision, Spirit says. Something very new is unfolding. It is the bringing forward of your spiritual destiny. And it's very exciting, all of us, here for these moments. You know, during the time of Pluto, Pluto was in the first house of Capricorn, shredding our foundations and our structures, our politics, the way in which we view and treat each other. Look at all the stuff that's in the news, and you'll understand this message. This is the moment we're in. Spirit is acknowledging us as the group of beings that came here for this experience in order to rectify that which has occurred in the past and take the next step into our spirit journey, our soul destiny, if you will. It's quite beautiful. So I've been talking a little bit about the notion of revelation and prophecy. And when you see the cards that have to do with the spirit walk, that which is reflected, Spirit saying, as above, so below. So we have the factors, if you will, of your human walk. Above, in the spirit realm, there is a process that reflects the experiences you have. I'm going to toggle over and I'll show you the card. Just breathe that in for a minute. Look at that, Sag. So let's take this one step at a time. Take a look at the far left column, vertical column of cards. Look at the progression there. Sitting on the top in the spirit realm, we see the beautiful revelation of art. And your aspect in the center of this reading is the foundation of art. Much is going to be revealed to you. The revelation of art is a card that is about prophecy. It is about the goddess of sovereignty, who worked with the spirit energy of Lu, who has the spear, the sacred spear that clears away obstacles. Her job was to give forward the prophecy about the coming of the next king. Look at those photos. Look where you are going. Now let's take a look at the far right-hand column of cards. We see the decider of will, the great god Dagda, in touch with you, activating you on the human level. Because of the light that is brought by the king of battle and the type of transition that he had to go through in order to become truly who he was, so that he could create the sacred hut into which other followers could go to have a similar type of journey. It's astounding to me, Sag. And just above the beautiful king of battle, we see the king of knowledge. Astounding. Really beautiful. It's a very quiet reading. It is active in a very mysterious, quiet type of energy. Back to the top row of cards for a sec. All right, so we see, I'm going to show you, I'm sorry, I forgot. Here's the beautiful goddess. She sits on a beautiful crystal throne. She is very highly activated. She is very psychic, very intuitive, and she has the ability to have a vision, to see what the future holds. And that is her knowledge and her wisdom and her passion streaming from within her out into the world. And she sits next to this beautiful jewel-encrusted barrel of water. Life energy, love, abundance, all that is meant to come in the waters of this journey. She lights the way on the spirit realm for that which is unfolding here on the earth, because it is the yin-yang of this energy. So we have this beautiful feminine energy in the spirit realm receiving this gorgeous male active principle. and doing the work of the sacred feminine, which has to do with creating the portal so that souls can transition on their journey. And the very next card is the gorgeous Queen of Skill. The bridge card is the quest of skill, and that's the quest you are on. It is about your prophecy to come forward into a new life. Look at that. It's gorgeous. And there you are, having transitioned within this lifetime. You arrive once again into a new life, into a new state of being, in order to begin again, because it is that which you have chosen, Spirit says. What I love about this, there's the key to a new life, and also the signification of the power of the horse, the ability to move forward with a lot of strength and a lot of energy. The Queen of Skill, representing the feminine aspect of portal and shift and change and incarnation, based on the activity of the sacred male energy. She receives you in order for you to reach your destiny. And it has everything to do with coming to the zenith, if you will, of knowledge in your own life, becoming the king of knowledge. This gentleman, also very wise, he is content. He knows himself. And he has this beautiful garment. There is a green cloak around his shoulders. It signifies more growth coming. He is in a very stable place. He has sustenance. He has abundance in his hands. And he continues to shift and change, because it is the knowledge that he embodies in the state of being that causes him to take up his place. So I'm going to toggle back. Take a look at the bottom row for a second. Look at the beautiful center card, the dialogue of knowledge, which activates your will to go forward into this transition, to reincarnate within a single lifetime, because you are going so deep into the portal that takes you into the awareness of yourself as a sacred spirit walker in human form, here to do a particular job and to reach a particular set point of destiny. And you have arrived into it. It was the cycles of the moon last month that brought this forward, having come out of the journey of the solstice. Spirit's asking me to show some pictures this month, so I'm going to toggle down and chatter a little bit about the journey that I took when I went to Ireland in September and October of 2017. Spirit says this one first. That is the sacred stone of destiny that exists at the hill of Tara, the place in which kings were crowned. In order to be crowned the king, the prophecy had to come forward, and the king had to be joined together with Queen Maeve in a certain period in history. You could not rise to the throne if you were not able to convince, basically, Queen Maeve to be your sacred consort. It is a story about the necessary connection and the flow of energy, the yin and yang of our existence. And look at the clouds. The day I was up there, it was just magical what was happening. It probably is that way most of the time up there. It's a very sacred site. And at the bottom of Newgrange, underneath the hill, there is a well that has been flowing for thousands of years, representing the feminine. Look at that. It took me a while to find it. I had to wander around a bit, and I finally found it. And when I arrived there, somebody had put a beautiful candle there. It was breathtakingly beautiful. As we came through the solstice, and as you're on this journey this month, this is the transition that you are going to experience. That is a photograph I took in the sacred passage tomb at Fornox. It is quite beautiful in terms of the nature of the space. And the experience that I had, I think, if you've been following along, I think you've probably heard the story. I'll be really brief. I went into the passage tombs. I was told about this place by one of the local folks that I met, and I had to drive through the countryside. This is a very unassuming place. It's by the side of the road. You would never know it was there. You can go to one of the neighbors who's the key holder and get the key and go to the passage tomb, unlock the heavy iron door, and go in there all by yourself, unaccompanied, which in and of itself is pretty amazing. I went in, it's pitch black, right? There's no light, you can't see anything. I had brought the cards with me, and the reading started to come out. I put my little blanket down, I was shuffling the cards. I had propped the door open, and as I started to put the cards down, the door just very quietly swung shut, and there I was, in the portal. I was scared to death. It freaked me out. It took me a while to gather myself. So Spirit's talking about that in terms of your journey. It might freak you out a little bit. When you have this moment of transition on the bridge part of this journey, we see a lot of leaves. It's very deep. It is like being in a womb. And it can be overwhelming. I was certainly overwhelmed in that moment. I had to gather myself, my bravery, my strength, my will. I went across the ocean to have a journey. And all of a sudden, when I was really faced with it, it was overwhelming to me. So that's the type of thing that Spirit is talking about in terms of your journey. You're going to come to these moments because when you finally meet yourself on a spiritual basis, it is not something most of us have any experience with. So what happened was the readings came out. I stood up, and as I finished, a gust of wind came by and blew the door open with a little bit of a bang. And I looked up in shock, and that's what I saw. I immediately took a picture. When we transition, this notion of a portal, we hear these stories. People who have a near-death experience talk about moving through a tunnel toward a great shining light. I just burst into tears, and I knew in that moment the type of messages that were trying to come through these cards, and the reason I had been sent into this place so that I could have the experience and understand what it means. On a solstice, the remains of the people who were placed in the passage tomb, when the sun arises and illuminates the tunnel, they transition because the energy has arrived. That's the experience that you're having. And it is reflected in the illustrations of these cards and all the discussion that has come out about that. Transitioning forward through the portal into the next phase of your self-awareness in order to have the reflection become very clear to you and what your destiny is. One of the things that Spirit has been talking about for several months now that's becoming very clear to me is the notion that your purpose is this journey. And a lot of people ask me, especially in the private readings, they want to know. We all want to know. I want to know. What is my purpose? Well, what am I supposed to do? I'm on the spiritual journey. I don't quite understand. I feel responsible. There's something I'm supposed to be doing. And the notion that's coming through is you are your purpose. Your only purpose is to have this journey. And whatever is meant to come as a result, it will unfold because of the decider of will is here. Look at the far right-hand vertical column of cards. Look at the progression. It's astounding to me. You certainly are in transition, and you are moving forward on the energy that has arisen out of the solstice because of all the eclipses and the Lionsgate portal and all the things that happened in 2017. You were prepared for this moment of destiny, and you are literally standing in it right now. And Spirit is standing with you to welcome you and help you understand. I'm getting all choked up, Sag. It's so beautiful. So let's take a look at the outcome card. There's something very special about the way these cards are aligned. That is the beautiful woman of knowledge. The last card on the Spirit Walk is the King of Knowledge. So again, this idea of the flow of yin and yang energy as a very active principle. Spirit wants you, for some reason, to pay attention to the active principle within that concept and become aware and become in touch with the Spirit saying it has to do with the physically being able to be aware of the movement of that energy. And if you've ever seen a video of the yin and yang symbol in motion, it's okay. Spirit is saying, talking about a paradigm shift into understanding that all of that energy is one and the same, aspects of the same spirit energy flowing into and out of the different set points of its nature in order to do its work. Okay, I'm toggling back. Spirit is just focusing on this, so bear with me. Spirit is talking to you, I think, through me from this place. There was a reason that I needed to have that experience so that I could do my job. And I came away understanding something very deep about myself and all the things that I've been chattering about. So let's transition back and look. Look at the center horizontal row of cards. That is the core of the reading. Right? Spirit saying that's the story. And what happens on the human realm and how it is reflected above are the factors of the story. So we see the King of Battle who came to light the way, to help us understand what it is to be a human being in the portal, having a transition here on the earth, becoming aware of yourself. It was the King of Battle that built the sacred hut of exploration, the foundation of art. The King of Battle, when he had his healing, it was a sacred healer, a mystical healer that came to him. That healer, the notation of that healer, and the woman of knowledge was inside of this passage tomb. And darn it, I didn't think to load up that picture. I'll tell you the story. All right, let's transition over. So there she is. She is a healer. Okay, Spirit saying she's a midwife of the Spirit. She is of the mystical realm. Okay. Do you see how she is picking herbs and flowers? She is literally picking that which grows out of the bones of someone who has passed away for healing. It is the death process that brings forward a new life, all right? The person who is buried there is her brother, and he was the man that brought the sacred mystical healing to the King of Battle. There's a lot of relationship in this card about that, Spirit saying, about that particular journey and the people and the factors that made up that journey. And you are having a reflection of that in your life. So again, I'm going to toggle back. Spirit won't let it go. When I was in the Fornox Passage tomb, the stone that the woman of knowledge is picking herbs from, there is a stone inside of this tomb that looks exactly like that. And I didn't realize it till I came home and started, I had drawn the cards, right? So I came home and I started recording the videos. And suddenly I became aware because of one of the pictures I took. And it blew my mind. I don't know if the woman who made this deck knew that or if it's a divine coincidence. The new life that is coming to you is based on the things that have come before, the bones of your own life. Give forth the fruits and the herbs that bring you to this place of awareness and help you through the portal. So all of the folks in that center line are related through the mythology of this deck. It's fascinating to me. So Sag, as you walk through the month of February, Spirit's saying it's a quiet journey and a very profound one. Allow yourself to go into the portal inside yourself. If you have a particular tradition that allows you to be in contact with the deepest aspect of the spiritual realm, allow yourself to be in that place, whether it's a church or a temple or a meditation room in your house or out in nature. Any of those places will do, Spirit says. So focusing back on the other center point of this reading is the center vertical row of cards. On the human walk, we see this young man. He's traveling his route. He also is accompanied by a wisdom holder to guide him, because the sacred spiral of his life is turning, and he is becoming self-aware and coming into the authority, if you will, of the King of Battle, which has to do with knowledge and humility in order to become a transmitter. That's the job of the person who is in the sacred hut, seeking the foundation of the spiritual arts. It's quite astounding. All right, let me toggle. I'm going to toggle over to the live picture. Look at that. Let me shrink it down a little bit. Okay, there we go. Right? That's the road you're on. And this person's goal is to become a transmitter of wisdom. And in order to do that, you have to go through the portal and understand the experience of that activity and what resides there, so that you can know yourself very deeply and become the wisdom holder for the tribe. You have a particular job to do given your set point as a Sagittarius. I'm going to toggle back again. And right atop that, the Queen of Skill, receiving you into the new place you are meant to be, and immediately transitioning into the set point of the King of Knowledge, because what will become apparent to you will be very profound, and it will move you from infancy into a place of knowing. It's a rapid progression. It's about having a moment of epiphany. And that's what happened for me. That's why Spirit wants me to show you this, okay? One more time. A moment of epiphany. When things become clear and you gain a form of knowledge that you never anticipated. That is why in the center line, the center horizontal line on the left side, we see this person in transition, flanked on all sides by the wisdom holders, as is happening in the spread in general. It's a moment of overwhelm. It's very deep and beautiful, very mysterious, completely overwhelming because of the nature of the awe when you stand in that moment and you finally are able to see. And, part of what happened for me in that moment, I did become aware of myself as a spirit being, standing in my human life, going on a sacred journey. And all those things were answered, and I began to understand, I get it. So part of my little job is to, yes, become a transmitter of information, become a channel for other people. It has little to do with me in a sense. It has everything to do with my awareness of myself. I was lucky enough, in a certain way, to come into this world, with a lot of planets in the 12th house and in the 8th house, the mystical realm. I am a receptor. Who knows why? I don't know. It's just what happened. But, some people would say it's what I chose, right? So there's some notation about that. And my destiny developed over a long period of time, just like yours. It was many years. I knew I was aware. I think for the first half of my life, I never told anybody. I was just trying to figure out, did I make this stuff up? What's happening to me? What am I supposed to do? And the answer is, go stand in your place. Acknowledge yourself. Become aware of who you really are. And, get comfortable there, Spirit says. Just try to get comfortable. And when you do that, everything else that's meant to happen is going to unfold. And as a result of your journey, you are having a profound healing. I love that the outcome card is about the woman of knowledge who is here to provide healing based on the life that you used to have, because you are transitioning not particularly away from the factors of your life, but deeper into the wholeness of your life. It's a beautiful message, really profound. So I'm going to wrap it up. Sag, have a wonderful month. I'm going to leave you with the cards. I'd like you to just gaze into them and understand the energy that is trying to come through to you. The quiet part of the message that does have to do with emergence and transition and going into this type of travel in order to receive yourself in a certain way, to acknowledge yourself and to have the experience in a moment of that acknowledgement and become aware of the position that you have, because you are on this journey and what is meant to unfold is certainly coming. So Sag, have a wonderful month. And if you do have some moments of epiphany, Spirit says it might be in a split second. Keep a journal. Stay in the spirit realm. Do your best to walk in your fullness and know that you're involved in this transition. And there's a long road that you're going to be traveling if we look at the cards on the human realm. There's a long journey. It's going to take a whole year for this process to continue to unfold. But this is the prophecy about where it's going. It's very exciting to me. So remember to look into the lines of cards, the columns of cards, and take a look for a moment at the bottom right-hand card and look upward to the left. Look at that transition on the human realm, the decider of will, in connection with the person in the hut, seeking the foundation of the spiritual arts, and it brings forward a prophecy about your destiny. It's beautiful, Sag, and I thank you as always for all your intention and all of your desire and all of your work in this direction. There is much to come. The other thing I want to leave you with is that I just saw this. I look at the science news all the time. I'm a little bit of an egghead. A lot of interesting things are happening. One of the things that happened, I think about 2 weeks ago now, I saw an article buried in the news that has to do with, I believe, what Spirit's was talking about in 2017. A lot about this tapestry of energy so that we could work together, so that we could all, move our energy and our awareness into the place it's meant to be, given your astrological set point. Science has discovered that we literally emit and transmit vibrational energetic waves from our brains in every moment of our existence. And something is shifting that is going to allow us to be highly aware of that and begin to utilize that ability. So all of that philosophical chatter that we've all heard, that we're all connected and we're one and all those things, guess what? It's actually true. And there you are standing in the hut, in the center of your being this month, preparing yourself to be able to utilize that now that we know, right? So you come into this knowledge through this transition. So the tapestry is there. We've prepared ourselves. And now we know with science, which, let's face it, it helps us, right? We all have our philosophical views. We have a belief system. And then if somehow science backs it up, it feels better, doesn't it? It helps us to acknowledge ourselves. So now we know. It's literally true. It's incredibly exciting to me. There's a lot going on in the cosmos. There's a lot that's been happening. And this is the illustration of those events unfolding and of that knowledge coming to you while you are transitioning into this moment and standing in this moment of shift and change so that you can see yourself in this way. Sag, have a wonderful, have a wonderful month. I was going to say have a wonderful year. Have a wonderful month. Please, if you have an epiphany, write those things down. You may have some sacred dreams because you are in the dream hut, crossing over in all these ways. If you feel so inclined, I would love to hear anything that comes to you because you help all of us. And it's time for us to be in connection and in conversation about all these things. I'll look forward to being back here in March to continue this discussion and to see what the next phase of your journey is going to be. I want to thank everyone for all of your love and your kindness and your support and your patience with me. It's been a crazy winter here. It's been really challenging in all kinds of ways. The days are getting longer, the sun has emerged, and we move forward together. So thank you, Sag, and I will speak to you soon.